Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to the Tuesday Tussle for this Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. This evening's show we're calling it Shape and Shot. The difference in boxing. Welcome everybody out there. That's still the coldest intro when you see highlight reels of Deontay Wilder knocking men into oblivion, into the multiverse, into the depths of hell. Yeah! The coldest intro. Huh? Yes, sir. So, glad to have you with me this evening. We're talking shape and shot. The difference in boxing, because recently we have been inundated with the so-called sentiments of the sexperts out there, people who have a love for tainting the sport, with their perverse ideologies and how they readily heap a certain expression upon one fighter, and then a fighter that could actually be suffering from a stated circumstance, they totally disregard the other. And then they misaddress and assess someone as having had one situation when it is totally off the table and they are way out of the ballpark in the assessment. So I thought I would come in this evening and try to clear the airwaves a little bit with something on that subject, but just realize that the message isn't for all. It's only for some. Because there are those who are going to continue to force narratives. There are those who will continue to try to influence and say and make statements that will draw traffic to them, hoping for viral moments, hoping for people to be disruptive so they can channel the negative energy. But see, we're not about that here on this channel, but because what we do here is rooted and founded in fact, reality, actuality, and substance. Yeah. So I'm just here to remind, and for some who can obtain the lesson at hand, great. But we have to also keep it moving because we don't want to remain mired. It's all about elevation, coming to a place in consciousness of being able to rise above the foolishness, Sewage is supposed to have runoff. You're not supposed to bathe in it, Yeah. So with that being said, welcome again, everybody. This is a stream that is multi-streaming on YouTube as well as Rumble. For those of you who have elected to treat yourself to the experience of following me on Rumble, the link is in the chat. And please do that, because you will find we're going to end up doing broadcasts strictly over there, but not limited to only there. But as I've stated in the past, we have options. Also, I want to remind you that I have reinserted the links for supporting the channel with the merchandise links. They are back in the description box. I had removed them for a duration, but they are there. So anyone interested in Stormy B-Man merchandise, the links to the merchandise are in the description box. And what you can do is you can go there and pull up the links to both the A Weapons site and the original Streamlabs site for merchandise. This is getting close to holiday season, and somebody might want to reach out and obtain some Stormy B-Man merchandise for family, friends, colleagues, and special ones. So don't forget to do that. Allow yourself that luxury. The merchandise is still available. I'm just no longer running the ads at this particular time. Maybe I'll run them on the Rumble app, because, Google and YouTube, they try to say you're reusing content, even though it's only mine. It's trademarked. Yes, it is. But they come with this because they're trying to stunt the growth of the real. Yeah, that's what they do. But never mind that. It's just a reminder. You go right on and you click right there where it says more on the titling of the show and everything, and it'll take you right over to the description box, and you can go right in there. And the merch is still available. And please get yourself some Stormy B merchandise. It's what we got to do to support, right? Some of you have done so. Hey, if you've had it for a year or more, maybe you want to get something fresh. Maybe you want to get something different. There's plenty. One of the things I have that is really nice to have is the Sensei coffee mug. I've used that thing, and I'll tell you something. When you put a beverage in there, whether it's a hot or cold drink, it can hold the warmth for coffee and tea, milk, or it can hold the coolness of your favorite cold beverage. I know some of y'all like to drink some of that ignorant oil, on the rocks. Well, guess what? If you put it in your Sensei mug, you'll be able to enjoy every drop till it's finished, Yeah! So get yourself something, man. Show some damn support in this holiday season. That's right. We're going to take a quick moment out to see who we got in the building. Who we got over there on Rumble. We got EJ and Bernard out there. Appreciate you brothers out there. EJ with the donation. He says, for the Tussle and for the Jessica drop, Sensei, you got me rolling on that Jessica. Surely she couldn't be saved. Yeah, man, that's a favorite clip I like to end the streams with because it's so funny. That brother that does the narration over there, please save her, Jessica. Yeah, that's just to keep everybody, going on their way after the lives with humor, laughing on your way out the door. But it's a riot, isn't it? I love that clip, man. I laugh when it's playing. I sit there and watch it myself, and I just be cracking up laughing, man. It's so funny. But appreciate your donation over there on the app there. EJ, appreciate you, brother. Okay, we got Be Well Stormy. Salute to the chat fam who's in this evening over on all platforms. God be with you. Now, I wonder who that is, T Gritty 12. What is that happening over there? Is that my man? Are you gonna show up in the regular YouTube stream too, Because I know when you say God be with you, I know who that is. But you gotta announce yourself just in case it's an imposter, Yeah! We do have imposters out here, y'all. Don't forget, the fake God is coming, They call him the Antichrist. So y'all got to get ready for that one too, That's on a larger scale. But don't think that Stormy B Man is going to keep you in the dark about it. No way. Like I said, the message is out there, but it ain't for everybody, Yeah, that's right. We got EJ in there saying Stormy B Man salute. Universal Truth was first and foremost, if I'm not mistaken, out there saying salute Sensei in chat. Who else we got out there? Chill Town Majors is in the building saying Stormy salute. And Adrian Viet is out there saying salute Sensei. Thank you for recommending Warlords. It was gritty as F, but so good. Yes, sir. I try to tell you, Adrian, when I recommend these movies, man, including Warlords, that's done so that you all can see exactly what Stormy B Man is talking about. Now, do you realize that that's a remake of a Shaw Brothers film, The Blood Brothers? also known as Chinese Vengeance, Dynasty of Blood, with Tai Lung and David Chang. That's a remake. And Jet Li is playing the David Chang character. I'm sorry, Jet Li is playing the Tai Lung character. And what's his name? Takashi Kaneshiro. He's playing the David Chang character. And Andy Lau is playing the Chen Kwa-tai character. So yes, check it out. You will enjoy that film. Like my man Adrian says, it's a heck of a recommendation. And I'll never leave you with a poor one, huh? Never. Unless you say, hey, Stormy, can you recommend a really crazy, poor, terrible kung fu film? And then I'll send you right to something that you'll make me say, you'll never ask me again, huh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got Lone Star Steph. He says, yeah, that's me over there, Sensei. God be with you. Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And we got Derek Gaines in the building. And Joe the Beast is in with us this evening. Joe the Beast, you able to catch us live this time, huh? Good to see you out there in the chat, brother. Welcome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And everybody else is saluting one another. Yeah. So, as we get into tonight's show, man, Stormy has to, be a little dramatic with the introductions. Kamara the Stepping Razor just slid into the building, thought he would slide in, and while Stormy was talking, and the professor, the sensei, wouldn't see him, but I see everything, huh? I got sensors all around the room and across the doorways and windows, so when you try to slide in, yeah, man, I got you, huh? There he is. 19 minutes after start time, he slides into the building, huh? So, you know what that means. You're working on that poor grade, huh? Because when you're late, you miss out on a few things. And Stormy don't go back, huh? We ain't backtracking, huh? For you moonwalkers, you have to catch the replay. Yeah. Look at Derek Gaines begging to be put in timeout, talking about The Last Dragon. Dude, that's so last month. If you keep up, huh, we're going to cut your knees off. Yeah. So Stormy is back in the building. There I is, huh? There I is. You think I wasn't going to show my face? I'm too handsome not to show my face, huh? And that ain't for you guys when I say that, huh? It ain't for you, because I know some of them is out there as them weirdo types. But I'm just speaking facts, huh? I'm speaking facts. Yeah. So, we've had some situations. Most recently, I want to talk about Erickson Lubin. When he took on Virgil Ortiz Jr. in their recent bout, he had a bad outing. A very bad outing. And one of the first things that some of the sexperts were talking about was Lubin is shot, huh? At 30 years of age, in 20 fights, he's shot. Well, I beg to differ on that, because sometimes when fighters are ill prepared, when fighters don't warm up properly, when fighters don't take the time out to do the necessary things that are supposed to be at once a practice and also a routine, they can get caught like Mr. Lubin did against a puncher like Virgil Ortiz, who likes to get off quick. Now, that's something that many people will not necessarily attribute to Virgil Ortiz. He likes to be a quick starter. But understand, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? So in the instance against Lubin, he's starting quick against someone who was not warmed up properly, not prepared, not focused. You know how I say he wasn't focused? Look at Derek Gaines. Derek Gaines, listen, I say a lot of things that you don't follow up and follow through on, so just silence. You seen BFTB with the Martin Lawrence clip over there. Silence. Sit back and listen to the show. I don't want you interrupting me no more, okay? I'm telling you now. I'm saying it the way I'm saying it, but I'm very serious. I want to get through my subject tonight, man. No bullshit. Okay? None. Respect my space, brother. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. A fast starter, Mike Tyson, comes to mind. One of his advantages was to leap out of there at the sound of the bell on top of an opponent with an array of punches to get a guy backtracking on his heels. And he would do this to mostly everyone, which is one of the reasons that he would come to the ring with a frothing sweat. That was so that in the case that someone caught him with something, he could shake it off and keep on coming. See? And it worked, I want to say a good 80+% of the time. Lubin, on the night of facing Ortiz, the reason I say he wasn't focused, first of all, coming out there dressed in a mariachi uniform, shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV, who gave a video describing how these melanated fighters need to leave that stuff alone. Stop coming out wearing other ethnic groups' colors and flags and all of that stuff because it's disrespectful. And I agree wholeheartedly with Blue Blood on that. Show something that is of pride and representation of yourself, and stop going out there being disrespectful to other cultures, because you only look more like an ass when they put you down, as Virgil did to Lubin on the night of. In fact, has anyone heard from Lubin since that night? I haven't heard a single interview. Not that I've been looking for him, but he should come out and explain himself. But if he hasn't, stay gone, because this is what you did. You were an embarrassment. And half of that embarrassment was, like I said, the disrespect that you came out showing that community mockery of what they have, and you were not prepared for the battle. You were not. You did a training camp, you did interviews, you ran miles, you did exercises, and on the night of, you come out and get disposed of like a empty Coke can, at the bottom of somebody's cooler, Yeah, this was you, Erickson, and this message is strictly straight at you. I didn't see a drop of sweat on your body, Not a drop. What was that all about? You have to be prepared, man. This is high profile, and you were not that. You came out, you took several steps backwards early into the first minute of the round, and it told me that you were not prepared, because Virgil is a fast starter. You were supposed to stick something in his crawl early, and you didn't. You took a backward step and another one, and before the end of the round, you were finding the ropes rubbing you massage-like against your back. That's not what you do against an aggressive puncher. That's not what you do. You turn them and everything. But see, you weren't prepared. Your legs weren't loose. Listen. The man ate you up like Pac-Man, And there was a way to guard against that. So guess what? The sentiment from the sexperts, they tell us you were shot. You took shots, but you're not shot. You were embarrassment. You see? But don't feel bad, Because I have other examples of that as well. When we think about Anthony Joshua last September of last year, 2024, when he faced off against Daniel Dubois, 5 rounds is all it took for the former unified heavyweight champion of the world to lay on the canvas like he was reclining in his own waterbed in his home. But I'll tell you something. Coming out in the first round of that fight with your hands beneath your chest plate and your chin up in the air like you was looking for something on a shelf, it helped Dubois tremendously. And the way that you took those shots and you went down and you got up and you pumped your chest and your fists and you waved at the crowd, I'm good. No, you weren't. You see, first of all, mentally you were deficient. Don Charles, being over there in that man's corner, had you boo-boo on yourself. Oh yeah, we saw the traces of the brown spots in the ring. Because when you went out there, you didn't have the gumption to show Mr. Charles that you were no longer the guy that he once worked with, and that you had graduated, elevated to a different level in class. Though you have had some success in the sport and had acquired some titles, some fraudulently, and others, well, we know what happened with Prince Charles Martin, You guys sent some people in there to beat him up in sparring and bruise up his ribs and everything. And then when he fought you, he couldn't even take the shots. Oh yeah, word gets around, AJ. And now you're going in there with Jake Paul. Carl Froch calls him Fake Paul. If you ever hear Carl talk about Jake, that's what he calls him, fake. Anyway, people were clamoring AJ should retire. He's shot. He's done. He's finished. He's not shot. He's not shot. He's a fighter that has deficiencies. He is an inadequate top-class fighter as far as being elite. But you all wanted so badly to make him a star. You didn't clamor for him to get better through trainers, through people who could help him develop. When he initially started out, he had a lot to work with. But then came this thing where Matchroom and Hearn had this whole idea of making him a star. Even scalping tickets and everything at venues, which is one of the reasons why Matchroom took their show on the road for a while, because I think there was a little suspension involved in that situation. Yeah, where they were selling out quicker than Michael Jackson. Foolishness. So, along with AJ laying on that canvas is his pride, and fractured ego. Thus, if you think I'm lying to you, the 2 losses to Alexander Usyk, why is he over there in Usyk's camp trying to learn from Usyk? You see, sometimes when people have setbacks, they don't know how to regroup and recoup. You know why? Because when someone was trying to give them the lesson about that, like me trying to tell Derek Gaines to keep it straight out there, not listening, they falter. Listen, AJ shouldn't have never got rid of his first coach when he had the loss and setback against Andy Ruiz. That was a fixable situation, and it required that coach to tell him everything he needed to know. But no, he decided to dump that coach, come across the seas after Lennox Lewis had suggested to him about 3 or 4 years earlier, maybe you should go to America and learn some of what's happening over there from some of the gyms, the fighters, and trainers and coaches, and you can gather more information and become a better, well-constituted and tooled fighter. He called Lennox a clown. Go figure. So, how can you be a mastermind without a mind? I'm still waiting for someone to answer that one for me. It's obvious that AJ doesn't know anything about it. Now, the one move he did make that could have served him was when he came over here and he hired the services of Robert Garcia from the Garcia Boxing Academy. That was actually a good fit for him because Robert focuses on the technical aspects of fighters. Your footwork, your balance, combination punches, punches with the proper placement and things of that nature. Now, one camp does not get you where you would like to be. It will require several iterations of you coming together where he really gets the chance to know you. And so after your fight with Alexander Usyk in the rematch, you gave it up and thought that, oh, because you didn't get your titles back from Usyk in the rematch, that Robert was not necessarily a good fit. And then you went from there to bringing bad juju to Derek James's camp. He ain't been right since. Everything has collapsed over there with him, with you bringing that loser's mentality and aura over there around those guys. He had undisputed and unified champions in his camp, and you and Ryan Garcia shot it to bits. You see, there's a time and a place where coaches and trainers are supposed to say, no, you gotta go. Get out of my gym. Huh? You should have stayed with Robert Garcia. But you elected not to do that. So they're calling you shot. They're calling you finished. At 34, I doubt it. Because a lot of times in the heavyweight division of these modern era, you guys can develop later. Sometimes it comes to guys late where they get the message, where they thought they knew everything, and then they had to take a couple of setbacks to where they can reassess and realize, like, you know what? I've been doing it all wrong. I had my shoes on the wrong feet. Huh? But nobody ever told me that I look like a damn fool. Yeah, that's you. Huh? And you look like a damn fool in this image here that I got on the screen, like you're trying to swim on a dry canvas. Huh? Notice I made the waterbed reference earlier because, you know, he was trying to get the rhythm of the stroke. Yeah, but Daniel Dubois helped him out with that. Stroked him right on the chin, and then it was out of there. Huh? Yeah. But these sexperts, like I said to you before, they will call it. They will tell you that someone is washed up, they're finished and shot. Huh? When they realize that you were never of the class where they had placed you, but they did that because they wanted to be popular, they wanted to be liked, they wanted to be up in the algorithm and have people come into their channels and all of that. I don't give a damn about any of that. I'm going to tell it like it is. And you don't have to like it, but I'm going to say this. It's factual, son. Get a grip. I told the story about my social studies teacher telling me when I was a sophomore in high school, after turning in a page of a assignment, and he said, "You're lazy." He's like, "You're going to take this back home and you're going to do this over, or I'm failing you." I was like, how he know that I did the assignment? But I guess the fact that I didn't really apply myself to the subject and didn't really embellish and go into detail, it was like surface responses and answers to certain things that we had been tested on, all of that. He saw right through the foolishness and told me I was lazy. I was being lazy. And he was 1000% correct. He didn't let me do that. He held me accountable. Now, where's the accountability for the likes of Lubin or AJ? Because when you're shot, nobody can help you. You're finished. It's the end of the line, bro. You can't do anything but walk away when you're shot. Now, you've heard these guys talk about guys being shot. We saw it again back in September of this year when Terrence Bud Crawford beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. Now, many people, they said that Terrence, he was going to lose this fight just because he was the smaller guy, and that we were stupid for picking him to win and be victorious. Well, the last I looked, Canelo is still taking a few combinations from Bud Crawford, huh? But I'll tell you this, Canelo's not shot. Even though he has had 60 plus fights, he has never really taken a beating in there except for Bud Crawford. He didn't take a beating from Floyd. He didn't take a beating from Bivol, because those guys weren't trying to step to him and get him up out of there. Bud was on the verge of trying to do that, but it was Bomac telling them, "Oh no, just keep winning the rounds. Don't try to knock him out." Yeah, Bud is that evil guy, huh? He's like a cat. A cat sees something on the edge of the table, he gonna knock it off. Bud see you on the edge of faltering, he gonna knock you out. He ain't gonna be like, "Okay, I'll be merciful." That ain't in him. That ain't who he is. Yeah. So Canelo's not shot either. I'm giving you examples of guys who were in bad shape approaching their circumstances. Now, unfortunately, the example that I give of Canelo, that doesn't mean that he still had a chance against Bud. He has no chance. Even in the aftermath of trying to consider a rematch, you better keep it going, son. Keep it moving, because you're not going to win that one. It's just not going to happen. In fact, if you get your ass in there again, you're getting knocked out. Because that young man is the type of fighter that downloads information, and every weakness that he saw from you the first go around, he's going to capitalize on it tenfold going into a rematch. That's his makeup as a fighter and as a man. And if he gets the chance to smash you like a cigarette on the concrete, that's exactly what he's going to do to you. Stay away from him. And stop listening to those people who, though they look like you, hey, every brother ain't a brother. Remember that shit, okay? That don't just stand for melanated people. It stands for everybody on this earth. Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus, huh? Did he not? For the coin, for the dinero. Yeah. Salute to my brother Junior the Truth. I see you out there, crept into the building, huh? It's 8:40 now, huh? Where you been, Junior? Huh? You late, huh? You should have been here at 8:01, but you wasn't. I don't want to hear that I was busy and this and that, because, listen, the Tuesday Tussle starts the same time every night, man. No excuses, huh? Remember that. Anyway, my brother Drew Titan, he in there too, come in there late, but he's still celebrating birthdays and stuff, so I kind of give him a pass. Plus, he did an excellent show with me last night, so I ain't gonna get on Drew's case too bad this time. Maybe next time. Anyway, Mr. Shelton, I see you out there as well, brother. How you doing? I hear you out there. Also, about these shape fighters that I'm talking about, because it is about their condition and not their conditioning for the fight, but the condition of how they approach their craft, how they go about things. Lack of preparation is what does it to you. And most of the lack is psychological. You become a little bit lofty of oneself, and you think that you can still cut corners and do certain things specifically and come out on top. Did we not just hear recently in the news that Joseph Parker popped dirty for a drug, a recreational drug, cocaine, Cocaine cowboy, from Australia. How about that? And they're supposed to be in the WBO eliminator against Fabio Wardley, a guy that he didn't have to fight, but he thought he was Billy Badass, coming off of those wins over Bacoli and Zhang and Wilder, three men who weren't at their best when he fought all three of them, but he got those victories. The Zhili Zhang was really questionable. I wish they didn't give it to him because Zhang dropped him twice, and he needed to be, held accountable for being knocked down by that 40-year-old sloth, But hey, they gave it to him, and then Fabio gave it to him too. Yeah! How about that, EJ says there's a Cash App over here on Rumble. Let's see what we got. Oh boy, here we go. Let's see here. He said, well, it's like the more you F around, the more you find out. The ninja sword don't make mistakes, and Miguel sell out, knock the funk. Yeah, okay. Appreciate you, EJ, with that donation over there on Rumble. What are you doing over there on Rumble? I have to refresh the page. I had to refresh the page over there at Rumble. Yep. You guys, get my likes up. I'm at certain amount of views, and half the views is likes. So I don't know why y'all keep doing me like that, but you be out here watching me though. That be them sexperts, pervs out there watching me, I don't know what they doing, man, but that's, I don't go that way, you guys. I don't. Anyway, let's get to the shot fighter. The shot fighter. In fact, let's do it this way. I am going to engage with my audience. This is you guys see that up there? What is a shot fighter? I need you guys to answer that question in the chat. What is a shot fighter? Because I'm getting ready to educate you now. For some of you guys that think you may know. What's a shot fighter? I'm waiting for some responses, man. Can I get some responses in the chat? See, this is what I talk about when I ask a fucking question and people just be sitting out there like fingers in the butthole, looking around. What's that smell? That's your shit on your fingertip. Okay, Universal says, a guy that can see the openings but cannot pull the trigger like he used to. Hustler's Home, salute to you. That's one of the elements of a shot fighter, Universal. Actually, believe it or not, yes, that is something that can be attributed to a shot fighter. EJ says, Ryan Garcia is an excellent example of a shot fighter, being a drug to being a clean shot, listen, bro. Come on, EJ, I need you to get serious, okay? Every once in a while, your little ninja sword comments and everything, that's funny and everything, but understand that Stormy B-Man likes to hold court. When I start asking questions like this, I want to keep it serious, bro. I want to keep it on the level, because you're not the only one out there. There are people out here that are watching to learn and watching to elevate, okay? So those little personal jabs and stabs at fighters like Ryan Garcia, this is not the time. This is not the time. Hustler's Home says a shot fighter is a shell of his former self. That's too general sweeping of statement there, Hustler's Home, because Canelo Alvarez has 60 plus fights, almost 67 fights or something like that maybe, and he's a shell of his former self, but he's not shot. So you see how you can be incorrect in that? Universal saying punch resistance isn't the same. No, that doesn't necessarily connotate a fighter being shot, Universal Truth, because punch resistance happens to play a role in whom you may have faced or have not faced. You see, like a guy like Joe Joyce, they're calling him shot now because Zhilei Zhang knocked him out, and then he's been knocked down and dropped a couple of times after facing Zhang. But understand that the man has been taking punches to the face his entire career. Everyone has a different measure of being able to withstand and endure punishment. Evander Holyfield was 6'2.5" and 206 pounds, 208 pounds as a heavyweight, fighting guys 10, 20, 30, and sometimes 40 pounds heavier than him. And he was taking blows to the jaw, and his punch resistance never went. So the endurance that a fighter is able to take and withstand is not necessarily that determines he being shot. But what you said earlier about a guy seeing openings and can't pull the trigger anymore, that's definitely a part of that, where a guy, the timing and everything, he can't line it up anymore. But also a fighter who he just doesn't have that snap anymore. The snap in his punches, the snap in his alertness. There is a delay from the mind to the brain activity to tell the body what to do. He can't get out of the way of punches. He can't move into the range of punches. He's rocky on his heels. He is also, his alertness seems off. You see, and that can come in a short career, or it can come over a period of a longer career. Sometimes it's neurological. Like I said, each of us have a different measure of endurance and what we can take. Deontay Wilder can knock people stone cold with a right hand. But when he fought Tyson Fury, who had supplements and illegal substances and all other types of assistance, was able to get up from Deontay's power punching. But what if he didn't have those things, like when he was in Saudi against guys like Ngannou or Alexander Usyk? You see? Then it becomes a thing where the focal point is a little bit different. So therefore, again, being shot has a lot to do more with the overall neurological physiology of a fighter. And some guys, when they reach that point, they go downhill fast. Others, it's gradual. Like Muhammad Ali, it was gradual with him. You could kind of see something after the Thriller in Manila. There was something that was in 1975. You could start to see that there was some debilitation there with him. It wasn't after the Foreman fight, but it was definitely after the Thriller in Manila. But what helped expedite that was that he fought certain fights in between, like fighting Foreman and Frazier for the third time. There were fighters that he would fight and he wouldn't be in the best of shape. He barely trained or whatever. And that doesn't help you at all. That can push you over a cliff faster than anything. Joe the Beast says someone that can no longer withstand or see punches coming, or can no longer train to be at the level he needs to be at to compete. Junior says a fighter who can no longer line up his skills, knowledge, and physical attributes to compete. Yeah, I pulled over my car. Okay, Junior. But yes, both you and Joe the Beast are definitely on point with that. Because remember I said a moment ago, the physiology of a fighter. And that can deplete like within, you could literally go up the stairs, having gone through training camp, warm up in the locker room, ring walk, and walk up those stairs. And when the bell rings, you're flat. Flat as a board, you know? Joe the Beast says, would Sean Porter fit into a shot fighter category? I remember the interview where his pops and Sean couldn't train like he needed to win versus Bud. I saw what he meant watching the replay. No, Joe the Beast, because Sean Porter got to a point in his career, he decided he didn't really want to box anymore, but it wouldn't have made a difference if he came in and listened to the Eye of the Tiger all through training camp and watched Rocky 3 and all that. That was not going to help him win against Bud, because whatever he brought against Bud has enough within him to elevate to meet you there and to surpass you. And Kenny Porter knew that. That's why he called the fight, because he didn't want to see Sean get brutalized by Bud. I don't know why that's so hard for people to realize, but that happens with fighters that you guys don't want to give the true credit to. There are special fighters, and then there are guys who are kind of like what you can be familiar with. Then there are guys who are run-of-the-mill, there are guys who are mundane, and then there are guys who the thought of them should be insane because they don't offer what we're talking about. Well, see, Chilltown, some fighters aren't fast on their feet to begin with. balance is off. The balance is off. The timing is off on a consistent basis, not just for a fight, but you can see, like I said, they can't move into the range of punches. They can't move out of the way of punches. They can be easily rocked or shaken. They can't literally see things. Bam, that left hook. You didn't see that? There are not a lot of shot fighters today. They're not. Because first and foremost, the guys don't fight frequent enough. Secondly, they do all that warring in the gym, so when they get to a real fight, they don't have nothing for the fight. They leave it in the gym. So that's called overtraining and everything. But see, you don't hear them talk about that too much, do you? The sexperts. You know why? Because they don't apply the science of boxing. They doing the eye test. Remember, the eye test don't work for you, because Mikey Garcia thought he saw something against Errol Spence, huh? But he couldn't see an ass whooping coming. So his eyesight was pretty bad. You see, these things, I put it out there, but it's like, it's kind of hard for people to receive, huh? And it's hard for them to receive because it's not what you want to hear. It's not. Yeah. So there are shot fighters that they keep bringing back to the ring to get in there with other fighters who are trying to build their records or try to come back from setbacks that they've had in their personal careers. Appreciate you, Drew, over there in Rumble with the donation. He says, my first Super Rumble. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see something. PGH Big Dog, what's good with you? I see you out there. Jamal Davis, he says, I feel that the mental plays a big role. When the mental's not working, there are guys who need to walk away from the sport, and there are trainers and coaches who are too chicken shit to tell them. But you need to have a certain amount of trust in those kind of people that you keep around, because that's what's going to determine you being taken care of or not. Yep. Hey, all you brothers over there with the Rumble, hit the damn like button too, the thumbs up, please. Because I only see that you're in the chat, but I don't see where they you hit the thumbs up. Yeah. So pretty much that's what I wanted to talk about this evening on this show, because you got too many people out here talking about fighters being shot, washed, and all of that. And guys who are giving a half of a sincere effort or a little to no effort, that doesn't connotate being shot. That's lazy. Like my social studies teacher said about me, it's like you need to know when you're seeing a lackluster effort out of somebody. Joe the Beast, I think that what happened with Sean is he just got to that point where he didn't want it no more. That's not being shot. That's not being shot. A fighter that don't want to do it no more, they're going to show you. I'm going to tell you a guy that's getting ready to fight in December that don't really want to do it no more, but he doing it. Stephen Fulton. You heard it here first. Did you hear what I said? Stephen Fulton. Keep your eye out. You gotta know what you're looking at. Watched a lot of these fighters, a lot of them. PGH Big Dog. What I tell you guys about that regional support, man. There's nothing wrong with supporting someone from your town. You would like to see him be successful. You would like to see that. But there's a tremendous chance that ain't gonna be what happens. And it's simply because of what I've been talking about tonight. Is like why you guys can't see that kind of stuff. But that's okay. But always know that you can refer and defer to the Tuesday Tussle to elevate that mindset on boxing. The keys are right there. That guy walking around in between fights with a pot belly, bigger than mine. Okay. That going against a guy who is honed and trained and ready to prove to the world Yeah, Drew, that picture is crispy over here, ain't it? I've noticed that too, man. I'm like, you know what? And this ain't even the high end aspect of what you can do over here at Rumble. They give you some good stuff over here, man. I enjoy it. Village Brother, what's good with you? Hit that like button, you guys. Hit that like button. I can see all the little age spots in my face and everything over here. That's too damn good high definition. Shit. Shit. Makeup. Shit. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all this evening, man. You know, most of y'all came in late anyway. If you was out there watching, you should have let Stormy B Man know something earlier. So, you know, for you late guys, hey, F+. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So, with that being said, I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm out of here.
Canelo was 100% confident in himself. I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, you know, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So he never got off.
You think he's on
steroids? Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya.
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
All gonna be the same.
I try it, but my body just no let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. I hit Crawford, but no clean shots, like with all my power. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He knows how to move and everything.
Oh, what a nice day. Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the, oh my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. She can't swim. Go ahead, Jessica, run. Jessica, no. Oh my God. No, Jessica. No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up. She can't swim. Jessica, no! Lifeguard, please save her! Yes, do lifeguard! Save her, no! Please, Jessica! Oh, look, hey! Is that everybody's coming? Oh, do one of them yet! Hey, please, save her! Jessica! They're coming now, they're here! Jessica!